Good morning and welcome to the Leadership Development Day 2021. I have to admit, I've spoken to a lot of people in a lot of different rooms. I've done a lot of camera time, but this day, this moment right now is personal for me. It is so unlike anything that I've ever thought would happen. What if you laid there one night and had a dream? What if you walked a mile or two or hiked a mountain or three and said, what if? That's how this day started. I had an idea, I had a dream, and I said to myself, as the video said, what if we had a whole day just to develop, just to get better? And the question isn't, why me? It's, why not me? But I throw that back out at you and say, why not you? What are you thinking about? What are you believing in? What do you want? And if we don't act on what's in here, in our heart, versus what's up here, nothing really great is ever going to happen. I hear a lot of people who say, I think, I might be able to. What if? I don't want us to say, I think ever again. I want us to start speaking, I believe. I know what's true. I don't believe Martin Luther King stood up there and said, I think. We all know he said, I believe, I know, I see it. So why can't we know it, see it, and believe it, and bring it? And that's what today is all about. Today you're going to hear from 15, 16 different speakers who are going to bring it. They're going to challenge you. They're going to introduce you to topics and ideas that I guarantee some of you are not going to like for whatever reason. All I can ask is I hope some of you listen, believe what they say is they're speaking directly to you. They're asking you to get better as a man, as a woman, as a parent, as a leader. And yes, everybody out there, we are leaders. This is not just another day. So what is it that you want? All of these speakers that are going to be talking with you today, sharing their stories from their heart, it's about you. They're here to serve you. So I ask, what is it that you want? And as you go through the day, write something down that resonates with you. Write something down that inspires you. Write something down that you're going to share with your children, your spouse, your partner. I believe today, if you're tuning in and you're listening, it's impossible not to get better. And that's why we have today. It's not your traditional leadership conference. It's a leadership development day, an entire day dedicated to you, to grow. Who's responsible for your growth? Well, he doesn't do this for me, she doesn't do that for me. No, look at the man or the woman in the mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, 98% of all of our issues are dedicated and come from the person that is in the mirror. Own who you are. You're going to hear things today that are going to challenge you to your core. I guarantee you. The gentleman after me is going to challenge men like men have never been challenged. You're going to hear things from people that have thought about this day for weeks and months and know that everything that they're bringing is going to move you to action. It's almost impossible for me to stand up here and say and answer the question, well, who is this for? I was interviewed a couple weeks ago and I said, well, who isn't it for? Leaders? Well, I'm not a leader. I challenge you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you a leader? Is there anyone following you? Everyone's following somebody. Own who you are as a leader. Own who you are as a man. Own who you are as a woman. And make this day special. Encourage those around you to step up and understand what it's like to take ownership of who they are and what they're doing. We've got some great partners with us today. I'm coming to you live from the JW Marriott, Denver Cherry Creek. It's owned by Sage Hospitality. They're my partner this year, the big one. When I thought about this day, I said, I need somebody who gets it. And Daniel Del Lomo of Sage gets it. And that's why we're in his hotel. And that's why he's speaking later today. I do want to recognize all the people that have worked hard to make this happen. My team, Greta Hartman, Anaya Tora, have worked diligently to make sure that all of your questions have been answered. This whole room is being put together by 408 Productions, and Encore Global is helping us here today. But let me bring you back to what the day is all about. It's about you. What are you going to do different tomorrow? How are you going to show up differently tomorrow, and why? So when I was asked why me, and I said, well, it's really not about me, it's about you. Let me ask you, what is it that you would like to tell us? Talk with us. You're going to get some opportunities on hashtag Leadership Development Day 2021 to communicate with us about what you heard that you liked, what you heard that you're going to use, what you didn't like, and why. Like I said, not everything you hear today is going to resonate. But when we grow, when we learn, we grow. And as we learn, we can lead better. You're going to hear a lot of opportunities for you to say, this makes sense. And if you're really dedicated and committed to growth and development, you're in the right place. Now, you might be watching this later on a recording, sitting in an organization saying, where has this content been? Why haven't we been really real with ourselves about what it is we need to do in order to grow? Leaders, if we listened this much better, and we got curious and we asked questions that move people to movement, that's what I'm asking you to do. I believe listening, being humble, being compassionate as a man or as a woman is most important. Leaders, are you listening? And please get over yourself relative to your title. But at the end of the day, we're human beings first, then we're men and women, and then we get the opportunity and the privilege to lead because we want to. No one tells us to get up there and lead. Leaders are not born and they're not made. We choose as men and women to lead others because it's a privilege. Anyone that's a leader out there and you believe it's a burden, stop. You're not doing yourself or the people following you any favors. Let's talk about some of the most important leaders on earth. Parents. Look behind you. Look next to you. Look in front of you. Look at the little people that are following you. No, they're not always listening. They're definitely not always listening, but they're watching. They're watching everything you do because great leaders know that the followers that are following them because they're a great example. Be one. And please don't say, do as I say, not as I do. I don't know who created that or when. Can you imagine telling your employees, do as I say, but don't follow my example as a man, as a woman, as a leader? Can you imagine saying that? But yet, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, that's all we told our kids. That's all I remembered hearing. By the way, I know that last year was tough. I know this year is tough. I know the next several months is going to be tough because of whatever. I had a tough 2020 as well. A lot of people lost their life in 2020 and even the first month of 2021. To the 420-some thousand people who lost their lives in 2020 and yet this year, I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss. I overcame cancer in July of last year, and I lost my father on January 5th of this year. I understand what it is to be confused. I understand what it is like to hurt. I understand what it's like to suffer. And today is to recognize how hard it is to get to this place. What I want to ask you is, what are you going to do tomorrow? Because no one really cares what you did yesterday. It's written down. It's in a book. It's in an article. It's in a magazine. And again, congratulations. I want to know what you're going to do with today's information. I want to know how it is that you're going to grow. Please let us hear from you. There are some fantastic speakers coming up. Before I do this, I want to, again, recognize Sage Hospitality Group. Like I said, Daniel's going to speak later today, and here's some of the other partners that have been kind enough to give their time, money, and energy to the event. And some of these folks are represented as speakers as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your time, and God bless.